Mahalingam to honor our chief guest, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, Chairperson, S Swaminathan Research Foundation, with a memento as a token of our love and esteem. We now request our chief guest to deliver the keynote address.
Namaskaram, good evening everyone. Mrs. Alamelu, Director and Correspondent of the school, Mr. Mahalingam, Chairman of the board, Mr. Krishnan and other trustees, parents, children, teachers and friends. It's a great pleasure to be amongst all of you today as you celebrate your annual day, and it's a momentous occasion, the 29th annual day, and as Mr. Mahalingam said, it is not an easy task to establish, run a school in a way in which you can produce students who go on to make a mark in life. From my own school days, I can remember how much influence teachers actually have on you, and the subjects that you get interested in and you want to pursue, a lot depends on the teacher, and even a boring subject can be brought to life by a very good teacher. And so I was lucky that when I was in school, I had excellent teachers in all subjects, and not only did they teach us the subject, but they also taught us moral values, ethics, and certain principles that one should follow in life. I think this school also tries to do the same thing by firstly looking at the person overall, holistically, not only in terms of marks that you get, because that is only one part of life. And if you really see people who have done well in the world, they were all not people necessarily who had the top marks in school. They were people who could think outside the box and people who could think innovatively and create something that, had not been part of traditional thinking. So many of them, in fact, were school and college dropouts, but they went on, to make a tremendous impact on society. So doing well in academics is good, but it's not the only thing in life, and everybody doesn't have to excel in academics. There are many other aspects of life that one can do well in. We have seen now sports, how well our Indian sportsmen are doing. Similarly, in the field of art, in the field of culture, of course, in the field of technology, you see Indians are there everywhere. You see NASA, you see our own ISRO. If you look at the Chandrayaan team that recently won the Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar, the top science award, the team that is composed, majority of them are women. And while Chandrayaan was being launched, you could see the center, the space center, and the room is full of women scientists. So I think in today's world, women and men are equal in terms of opportunities and in terms of what they can do or what they can aspire to do. But still, society holds girls and women back a little bit. Parents and family members sometimes have a little bit hesitation in sending girls into professions where they think it is going to be hard. But in my mind, I cannot think of any profession where girls cannot do as well as boys. Or in fact, many times today I hear from leadership, leaders of organizations, that they prefer women because they see that they are excelling, they are more dedicated and much more responsible. So I think the world has changed a lot in the last 30, 40 years. A lot of barriers have been broken, but still we need to see an equal representation of men and women in leadership positions. We still don't see that. If you look at our political sphere, you will see that hardly 13-14% of our members of parliament are women. You look at the Union Council of Ministers, you see at the state level also, we have one woman chief minister out of all the states in India. that is in politics. If you look at science establishments, then also you'll see maybe 10 to 15% of directors of scientific organizations in the country are women. If you look at CEOs of top companies, again it's in that range of 10 to 20%. In fact, even board members, you'll find that still a majority are men. So there is still barriers that need to be broken. I think this generation of students who are now passing out will surely break the remaining barriers and glass ceilings and will be in the top of each of their professions. Today, the world is very well connected. In fact, it is so well connected that a virus can travel around the world in less than 24 hours. So when we talk about pandemics arising in one part of the world, there were always infectious diseases in the world. It's not a new phenomenon. There are so many viruses that we have not even discovered all of the viruses, bacteria, protozoa. There are still many undiscovered species in the world. But even those we know that cause human disease, the ones that jump from animals to humans, these are called zoonotic infections. This jumping of viruses from animals to humans is becoming more and more frequent. And that is all our own doing. We are now entering the spaces where animals used to live undisturbed. We are going into forests, we are cutting them down. The needs of human beings are increasing day by day. Our population is growing. And so our interaction with animals, especially wild animals, including insects and things we cannot even see, is increasing. And therefore, the risk of this type of infections is only going to increase in the future. And this, because we are an interconnected world, it just takes one person to get onto a plane from one country and travel halfway around the world, and the viruses get a free ride with that individual. The latest threat, of course, is Mpox. Mpox is a virus that's related to smallpox. It belongs to the same family. It's much milder. And normally, people in Africa used to get it from animals in the forest when they are hunting them or they're coming into close contact. But again, because of both the interconnectedness, but also because the viruses also keep adapting and changing. They know how to adapt themselves and infect people because their goal is to keep themselves alive and keep on multiplying and reproducing. Every species wants to do that. So it is a fight between man and microbes. And in the 1960s, human beings thought that we have won the battle against microbes because we had discovered antibiotics. But today, the microbes, I won't say they are winning the war, but they are very smart. And they have learned how to resist these drugs, what we call antimicrobial resistance. So today's antibiotics are not working as well as they used to. And another 30 years, we believe that this problem is going to be very serious. And we may be back in the pre-antibiotic era. You know that Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin. And before that, there were no antibiotics and people used to die of infections that today we take it for granted that we can treat. So as new challenges emerge, human beings also have to keep finding solutions. And of course, today we have so many developments in science and technology that help us. We saw during COVID a very fast pace of movement in science. We developed diagnostic tests, we developed vaccines at record speed, never been done before. We understood everything about the virus so quickly. So certainly with advances in biotechnology, advances in the speed at which you can now crunch data, the use of artificial intelligence, the use of new genomic and genetic tools which allow us to manipulate the genome of humans but also of other species. There's an immense opportunities actually to advance very rapidly So it's an interesting time to be passing out as a student or to be growing up in a school, because the kind of opportunities that there are today and the disciplines that there are did not exist when we were passing out of school. The very traditional disciplines of engineering or medicine or veterinary science or computer science or commerce. Even computer science was not there actually at that time. That came much later. But today, there are so many areas in science, but also in humanities, in the creative arts, in media, in film, and the amount of information out there that children can access through social media, in fact, maybe a bit too much. There is a lot of information which can also sometimes confuse you, because some of it is not credible information. So it's what we call misinformation or disinformation. So I think in the age of social media, young people also have to learn to discriminate between what is fact, what is credible, what is scientific, and what is misinformation or disinformation. That only serves to confuse and to create conflict and to create mistrust. So unfortunately, that phenomenon has also increased, and with the use of AI now, people are able to manipulate images, manipulate videos, and create those kind of very realistic impressions. So it's a challenging world, definitely, for young people, but it is also a very exciting world out there. There's a lot that is good and a lot that needs to be fixed. A lot of mistakes that we adults have made during our lifetime. We have destroyed a lot of our environment. And we expect the next generation to actually fix those. So youth are our future. We have to give them all the tools, all the knowledge possible, as well as the right values. Without the right values, science and technology are useless. So science has to be combined with the right values to have the right kind of societal impact. So I'm sure that this school produces students who will do that. I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for your valuable speech. We consider it a great honor to have you with us and listen to you today. We look forward to your continued association with our school in future also.
We extend our profound thanks to Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, Chairperson, S Swaminathan Research Foundation and former Chief Scientist, World Health Organization, for accepting our invitation and consenting to be with us in spite of her busy schedule. Thank you very much, madam.